kicking, y'all? We're back with another episode of Pickin' Six. We are here for the conference championship round of the NFL. Connor is joining me as always. Pickin' Connor, the locksmith. Connor, how we doing? How we feeling? How do you feel about this past weekend? One of the
I
probably
mean,
best weekends of NFL, history.
games were wild. On the show and in the blog, I picked the unders for the two Sunday games. So safe to say, the under was not this time.
I took the under in the Bills game because I thought it was going to be a very tightly contested game, and then it just
I mean, it looked good till like the end of the third quarter.
yeah, dude, it was like a pretty low scoring affair up until the end. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Other than that, I mean, I was out to dinner at the end of the Bengals Titans game, but what I did see while we were waiting to be seated, that was a at least anxiety ridden end of the game, and like pretty much the same with all of them. Came down to last possession.
It all came down to a field goal, or like literally like they all were decided by 6 points or less, which is
Yeah,
what you want though, because that's like, to me, games like those games like that, especially the Buffalo game, has such a college football vibe to me.
yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
definitely.
Like, just the fact that 13 seconds was still enough time for Mahomes and them to go down and score, like that's ridiculous.
That the Buffalo Kansas City game, the thing that reminds me the closest of that was the Ole Miss Florida game beginning of this college football season,
Yeah,
because they just kept trading touchdowns at the end of the game.
yeah,
And then I think Ole Miss won by like a touchdown or something,
yeah.
but it was like it's a very similar fashion. Like they were just like going crazy.
Yeah, people kept giving like I personally, I don't know how you feel about the NFL overtime rules, but they need to be different. I understand why they are the way they are in the regular season. You don't want to be playing a whole nother quarter of football, the whole time. You want to play. I sort of get it, but like the fact that Josh, the defensive minded people will say, "Oh, just make a stop."
Yeah.
I don't think that Kansas City would have made a stop if Josh Allen got the ball first.
No.
So it's like it's the defenses are gassed. They just pretty much did a sprint up and down the field for the past 3 minutes. Like, I don't think it's just get a stop is the right way to put that. I think that it should be college overtime rules, at least in the playoffs.
No.
Like 50 and in.
I mean, I've never liked the overtime rules because, especially in like like taking that game as the example, like you had such good football where like they would just keep dueling, and like yeah, it might go on for at least another quarter, but
It's
when
chess.
yeah, but like when so much is at stake, like you want that to happen. And like in NBA basketball and college basketball, some of the like most renowned games of all time are games that have gone into like six overtimes, like in the Big East tournament and stuff like that. And it's like those are games that like live on in infamy, and this one will to an extent, but like we don't know what it could have been, and like could have had a different outcome if Buffalo had the ball at some point, not with the sudden death
Yeah.
after the
I mean,
touchdown scenario.
and the Chiefs made a similar argument back in 2018. They made a case to change the playoff rules when it was Mahomes and Brady in the Patriots,
Yeah.
where it went to OT, the Patriots got the ball and scored, and that was it. Like, in a way, yes, technically it's not. If you get a stop, you get a stop, and you get a chance to get that redemption, possession. But I feel like with two quarterbacks like that, you gotta have to give them both a chance to get the ball.
100%. And like I played basketball my whole life, and at the very least, like for like high school, the overtimes would be 2 minutes, and like that
Yeah,
wasn't enough because you would maybe get like maybe four possessions each, if that.
yeah, if that.
And but like you need a substantial amount of time to decisively get
Yeah,
an outcome for the game.
that's why the college overtime rules work, because there is no time. There is no. It's like it's possession. That's the end of the court. End of the overtime. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, I mean, that's like, this is such a stupid tangent, but that's what, like, when I was in high school, our team, we were in the district championship, and the end of the regulation was 13-13, and the end of seventh overtime was 64-63. Like, so the like like these, like, it's battling. You want to see you teams going deep into their playbook to try to edge one out. Like people keep bringing up like the LSU A&M game from like a year or two ago that was 74-72 final. Like like if you get the NFL, like college is 25 and in, so like the NFL is like 50 and in. Well, the college is different now. Like the college is like two overtimes, two like periods of, okay, offense and defense, then switch offense and defense. And then if you're still tied after two of those, then you take turns trading 2-point conversions. That's how they do it now,
Right.
which is nice. So you just go play for play. So I don't know, that I think that's how the NFL should be, at least in the playoff. I understand of like player safety. You don't want to keep playing a whole bunch of extra football in a regular season game that may or may not matter. I get it.
Right.
But I feel like in that scenario, the fact that Josh Allen doesn't get the ball when he's had what he averaged 1.9 incompletions in the playoffs per game.
Ridiculous.
Like 9 touchdowns through the playoff run. And I'll say this, and I mean it's a take that I've seen a lot. Wouldn't you agree that Mahomes and Allen is the new Brady and Manning?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's really like the only other player you could bring into that equate like that sort of scenario is Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
But even so, yeah, they went to the Super Bowl, but like not as he's not as a complete of a quarterback as either of the other two.
Yeah, I just think that the AFC Championship is going to go through Buffalo and Kansas City for a while.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So,
Unless the Ravens get Antonio Brown.
yeah, I saw that. Do you see? Just tweeted a picture of him in a Ravens jersey, like an edited picture of him in a Ravens jersey.
Yeah,
I'll say this though about that. I saw what like his statement on that, and that they were like literally forcing him to play hurt. And that, like, if that's true, like that, the Bucks need to be investigated. Not investigated, but like I'm sure it probably happens all the time, which is horrible. I'll say that. Like
yeah,
players are forced to play hurt, or I know Toradol, I think, was a big thing in the NFL. The non-opioid painkillers. It's like ibuprofen on steroids essentially. It's
yeah.
just that's, I know they do that a lot. So they're not technically giving them any narcotics. Anyway, are you ready to hop into these games? We have our 4 teams. Speaking of the AFC, let's hop into that first. We got the Chiefs against Joe Shiesty and the boys of the Bengals. I know, Connor. I know you and I have been hot. The Bengals. What would you say? The Bengals have been one of our top teams this whole year of the pod.
Yeah, I mean, like we've been hot on them. I wasn't too high on them last week. I thought
I took them.
Tennessee was going to get the job done, but I thought that was more so because of Tennessee's defense, and then ended up losing by field goal. But it is what it
Yeah.
is.
I mean, Joe Burrow took 9 sacks and still won. Like, well, they were both getting sacked like a stupid
Yeah.
amount. Like, it was a game of defense, which, I mean, it's interesting that Ryan Tannehill starts the game on an interception and ends the game on an interception. Like, when you have Derrick Henry back, and they were getting to him, he was getting stopped behind the line a lot
Yeah.
in that football game. But so it's back in Arrowhead. The Chiefs are -7. The over under is once again very high, 54.5. Early thoughts are that the Bengals cover and lose. That's 7.
Yeah,
That's
I
7.
was like seven's a lot to cover, but Kansas City's. I mean, in the playoffs, they've given up. They give up. I mean, like whole bunch of points. I mean, over's still pretty high. Uh, I'm gonna take Kansas City to cover.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna stick with the Bengals +7. I'm not touching that total because like I thought 54 was super high for the Bills game, and then they scored 25 points in the last 2 minutes. So anything is possible. I don't think that game can be replicated twice in a lifetime, but yeah, I really like Joe Shiesty and the boys to at least cover and make it a game. I hope so because of what's Mahomes' brother's name, Jackson, and was it Mahomes' wife? Is that who that
Yeah.
is? Like she's spraying champagne on a bunch of people in the stands. It's freezing cold and Kansas Patrick goes through a lot. I'll tell you that. I'll say that. Pat Mahomes goes through a lot in the off the field. I also like Jamar Chase over everything. Jamar Chase over receptions, over yards. Give me a touchdown. Give me Patrick Mahomes over rushing yards. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus the yeah. And give me Tyreek Hill first touchdown scorer. So what's that,
Ooh,
5?
I like that. I'm going Mahomes over rushing yards, Kelsey over receiving yards. Um, and maybe Byron Pringle over receiving yards as well.
Sneaky, very sneaky. And McKinnon, his overs are decent.
Yeah, I didn't see it last. I don't remember what it was this past game, but I'm just gonna stick to that and not go too crazy.
I'll tell you what, though. Could you imagine if there was a stat for Gabriel Davis 4 touchdowns? If there was a if there was an odds for that, like there's you couldn't even bet on that. That's 4 touch. That's a record too. That's the most receiving touchdowns in a game in the postseason in history of the NFL.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I'd never heard of him before.
No.
I'll be honest with you. He had 4 touchdowns and 200 and something receiving yards. That's absurd. But we're moving on to the NFC, a division rivalry for the NFC Championship. I'll tell you what, though. Last week, the Rams and the Bucks. I thought for sure that Tom Brady, like the NFL script writers, were gonna quote unquote, we're gonna will Tom Brady to another championship, but I think they realized we all caught on and had to audible to to the Rams getting it done. I took the Bucks because I was like, you cannot deny Tom Brady in the play, and as we could see why that almost came to be.
Yep.
But the Rams are currently -3.5 against the Niners. Over under is 46.5. Niners beat the Packers in the cold of Lambeau. Our cold weather theory went out the door because the Packers special teams just screwed them essentially.
Yep.
But that game is at SoFi Stadium. But I heard the Niners are really good at making those look like home games. So
Yeah, well, there's some whole thing where the people at SoFi are only selling tickets to fans that live in Los Angeles. So that doesn't happen. So it's not all Niners fans.
is that illegal?
Yeah, the legality of it is quite questionable. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But I don't know. As is, like 57% of the public money is on Los Angeles to cover, 57% on the total, split 50-50, and a vast majority of the money line, over 3/4, is on the Rams at -177.
Yeah.
I mean,
Shoot, the way that games have been shaping out lately, I like the Rams, so I might take the money line
yeah.
because their games are coming down to like a field goal or less at this point. What do you? Who do you like, and what do you think?
I think the Rams are going to blow the doors off.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. It might be me now getting back on the Rams bandwagon after being off it. But
Listen, I am the president of the Rams bandwagon.
yeah, but I mean, like San Francisco won because they won on special teams. Rams have a good special teams. They have a lot more weapons on the offensive end. They got the dynamic duo, Von Miller, Aaron Donald on defense, plus
That's
Jalen
scary.
Ramsey. Yeah, plus Ramsey uh out back. What more can you say? I think San Francisco, like a lot of people, I think there's value on San Francisco, but I personally think that it will be the Rams. It was
Yeah,
always the Rams.
it was always it was always the Rams. Yeah. Well, this I don't know. Should I had a future that I put down and I looked at it. I put it down on September, but I don't know if I want to reveal it and jinx myself.
Then don't. You're a
All
big
right.
jinx or reverse jinx guy, so
Yeah.
I would keep it quiet for now.
Yeah. So when we're doing the Super Bowl episode, maybe it'll come to fruition. It's it's still alive and well as we speak, so we'll see what happens. Um, but yeah, so we both on the Rams make a unanimous decision. Are you taking the points or you like the money line? I like the money line.
Points.
All right, and give me Cooper Cup over yards. Give me Cooper Cup touchdown. Give me Odell touchdown. Give me um give me hmm, oh yeah, the other thing is Debo Samuel looked beat up
Yeah.
after
He was hurt. It was like the bat, like he got hit on the side of his knee. So
yeah.
that like I'd imagine he's gonna play.
Yeah,
Personally,
they'll will him to play. It just looked like he just looked like he was. And this is another really random thing, but the left tackle Andrew Whitworth, the ageless wonder, the Rams left tackle, he's still out. So I know that 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 Niners pass rush is deadly to say the least. So that's something to look out for. But I like a money line just in case of a 1 to 2 point victory. As
yeah,
the
I'm about to be rolling. I like Tyler Higbee anytime touchdown. I'm
that's
with you
a
with
good one.
Odell. Over on Odell's receiving yards, which is usually around like in the 45 to 50 range.
You can always alt spread that for a little parlay too.
Could do that as well. Um, I think Cam Akers over on rushing yards.
Yeah,
That
I thought Akers for first touchdown score potentially.
yeah, that I could like that also. Anytime there's 100% value in that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I got for this one.
yeah, dude. I think it'll be very interesting. It's gonna be. I don't think that any weekend of football could live up to what just happened this past
No,
weekend.
no.
I I am just looking forward to the Bengals game. The Bengals fans deserve this. You know, if anybody can get it done against it, well, if Josh Allen can't do it with only having to keep the Chiefs out of the end zone for 13 seconds, I don't know. I think that the Bengals can cover. The Chiefs are allergic to covering anyway. They didn't, so
We'll see.
I'll take the Bengals +7. But yeah, short and sweet one, baby. How's basketball shaping out, Connor?
Been interesting. Trying to find like good value on like the college basketball slates. I mean, you found some on Texas Tech last night. I
Shout out
found
John Ryan for that one. That
yeah,
was at AG and John Ryan for that Texas Tech spread.
yeah, I found a lot of value on Norfolk State -7.5. They ended up blowing the doors off.
I heard
Um,
there's been a lot of dog value lately in college basketball. Like a lot of the top teams have been losing. Am I to understand that?
yeah, decent amount. And like, but that's what happens when you get into conference play. Like all the top teams, they have for the most part, a lot of them will have like easier non-conference schedules than their conference schedules, particularly the Big Ten, Big 12. Um, and like Villanova looks like they're getting back to what Villanova usually is. they'll be a tournament team, probably top 3 or 4 seed, but will they win a championship? Likely not. Um, yeah, so just scouring all these games, college and NBA, looking for value, looking for player prop value in the NBA also. So
Yeah, dude.
pretty much same old.
Yeah, dude. I mean, so I've been seeing rumblings, that DraftKings in certain states is putting up some Division I lacrosse lines. So
Yeah, I saw that earlier. Mercer and Bellarmine.
what's I'll give out a pick right now. What's the line?
Mercer -1.5 over
Oh
under
yeah,
21.5.
yeah. Mercer 1.5, definitely. There you
Both of
go. There you go. If I'll put this out there in the world right now, if I can get adequate access to the Division I lacrosse lines on a regular basis, I'll be starting putting blogs out for everybody.
love to hear it.
If we'll see. Yeah. One last thing about I thought was funny about NFL overtime. The one person tweeted, I'm a big golf guy. So in like the late 2000s, the rules for golf is just I don't know. I thought this was funny. The rules for golf, if they were if players were tied at the end of Sunday, like how they do it now, there's playoff holes. What they used to do, they did it I know in the U.S. Open they did it in 2000 whatever. It was Tiger Woods. They come back and play another 18 holes the next day. So what if the Chiefs in the Bills just would have came back and played another game on Monday?
I mean, we would have seen so many injuries.
I know, but just in a thought.
Would have been cool. Definitely would have been cool to see.
Would have been interesting. But yeah, let's not keep the people long. Yeah, those are our picks for the conference championships. We're very excited. We're coming down in the end. Football season will be over, and then the sports drought begins. Unless you like baseball, well, not the sports drought. The football drought begins. And what's around the corner is March Madness. So we'll be hot in the streets on with plenty of March Madness tournament picks coming out for y'all. But with that being said, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to check out the blogs on Men of Order. I just jumped on their show for the divisional round last week. I plan to hopefully do that again this week with AG and sports betting guru John Ryan. Make sure to check out Keith and Tom. They are back. We just had a crazy card this past weekend with UFC 270. Ngannou got it done. Francis Ngannou in the main event. That was good fight. But yeah, I want to make sure that everybody has a happy, healthy, and responsible weekend of gambling. We out.